You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. About to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado.
Live from SmittyOne.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Take a lap.
Darren Waller, the baller, will not be traded to make the Green Bay Packers taller. Darren Waller, there was news that Darren Waller was going to be traded to the Green Bay Packers. It was all over the place. Unfounded. Apparently, Darren Waller was supposed to be maybe included in the deal that involved Davante Adams, and that could not happen through contractual reasons. But don't believe everything you hear. Smoke season is very, very thick, and you don't know what's true. I always say walk into 2022 April, or walk into any offseason April to, well, really May to like April 1st until about June 1st is nothing but smoke. Half truth, and these kind of things pop up all the time. Apparently, according to, and I can put the report up, an ESPN report, there's zero chance that Darren Waller will be traded. That was shot down very quickly just a little bit ago. I'd say like maybe 5 to 10 minutes ago by an ESPN report. I'll put that on screen so you can read it with your own eyeballs. But Darren Waller is not going to be traded to the Green Bay Packers, or traded at all, because the report doesn't even really reference Green Bay as much as there's 0% chance, here it is right here, that Darren Waller will be traded. This is from Jeremy Fowler from ESPN, suggesting exactly that. 0% chance Raiders, Darren Waller will be traded. Would have been great for Aaron Rodgers, would have been great for Darren Waller. Now Darren Waller must sit in a crowded location in Las Vegas where he's got to contend with Davante Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Jacobs, and crew, and try and pull away 22, some of Derek Carr's 22 to 27 touchdowns. I imagine he'll have with Davante Adams. Could Derek Carr take the step that a lot of people think he can take? I don't. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's great. I don't think he'll play great. I think he's got great options, but I don't think the presence of Davante Adams makes him go from 22, 23, 24 touchdowns to 35. Like, it's just not going to happen. Not to mention, making this trade would have been dumb. They're not trading. There is no trade. It was all smoke and mirrors. But if Waller was traded, let's say, it didn't make sense to me. That's why I didn't go live and report on it, because there's no concrete evidence on this whatsoever. I was about to go live on it earlier. I thought I'd let the dust settle a little bit. I'm glad I did. Otherwise, I'd be live again. It'd be a fake live announcement or a fake news initiating is Waller getting traded? And then an hour later, I would have been live saying, never mind, he's not getting traded. So I'm glad I waited. But this would have been a dumb trade. It didn't make sense to me, which is why I wanted more information. Why would a team built for the now with a wide receiver that's got 2 or 3 years left in Davante Adams that has Derek Carr tied to that? Derek Carr's not going to be good the moment Adams is done. Why would a team with a 2 to 3 year window to try and grab a Super Bowl opportunity, why would they trade away a guy that falls in that window? A guy like Darren Waller, who's older than George Kittle, believe it or not. He's not a spring chicken. He's got 2 to 3 years left himself. It made no sense to trade him for now draft capital. Trade a now player for, let's say, a pick in this draft or future draft capital, whatever. Made no sense to get younger at the position when you're completely built for the now. So Packers, unfortunately, don't get their boy Darren Waller. But guess what? I believe that DK Metcalf, McLaurin, A.J. Brown, Debo, I think Debo ends up staying in San Francisco. But one of those 4 guys, I think less likely to be Debo, but still a potential to be Debo. One of those 4 guys are heading to Green Bay. I can't say that I have any evidence. It's my gut. I feel like DK is probably most likely. When we think about DK Metcalf getting a new deal, this is a guy that was passed over in the NFL draft. He's been patient. He's been handling himself properly this offseason. He's been coming to work. I think part of the reason is he knows that the Seahawks are willing to move him, is my guess, but we don't know. We'll find out. 24 of you in here. Spread the word. Get the link out. Hit the like button. Get ready. NFL draft coverage all week. Rookie coverage all week. We'll be going live all morning and afternoon heading into the NFL draft. I'll be live, probably a mix of IG and YouTube during round 1, but definitely will be live the entire time on Instagram during round 1. And then I go live on YouTube to break it all down, talk about the landing spots, what running backs, what wide receivers, what quarterbacks, what tight ends I like, and the landing spots and how the landing spots affect those players. So get ready, get buckled up, get your popcorn. If I'm not live on YouTube and you don't see me live, check Instagram. I'll be live on Instagram. Basically, throughout the entire day, if you want to know what's up, how I feel about these players, you need to get to my live streams, okay? On Instagram or on YouTube. If you hear me in the back, raise your hand. DK should go to Detroit for the 34 pick. No, Ryan. No, Ryan. That's not it. No. We don't want him going to Detroit.
Take a look.
Why do we want DK in Detroit, Ryan? Answer me that. Riddle me that, Ryan. Why do we want DK in Detroit? What on earth would make you think that that's what we want, Ryan? Why? Why would we want that, bro? That would be a disaster. First of all, you've got St. Brown. You want to just throw St. Brown to the curb? Number two, you got Goff commanding things over there. He can't handle St. Brown, DeAndre Swift in his receptions that he commands, and DK Metcalf. You out of your mind, Ryan?
Get lambed.
Get lammed, Ryan. Okay. Chiefs, DK, yeah. They should draft Malik Willis at the 2 pick and get DK. They're not getting DK for that pick, I don't think, anyway. But if you had Malik Willis, you had DK Metcalf, you had Swift, and you had St. Brown, I could get more behind that, but I don't know that you guys are taking Malik at 2. If you do, Ryan, then maybe we can talk. I might take back your take a lap button. If you can get DK, Malik, and St. Brown and Swift all on the same roster, I could be okay with that. But you're not getting DK using a 34 pick, a second rounder. You really think you're going to get DK Metcalf using a 34 pick? That's just not going to happen. DK Metcalf's worth more than that, double that. So let's see here. DK should go to Detroit. No. Waller, Green Bay wanted I think you mean Waller. If Green Bay wanted Walker, why didn't they involve him in the trade? Waller, I think you mean. They couldn't because I believe of the tags involved. You can't trade a player when there's that tag player involved or something. I don't know. I'll try and find the exact details to it. Hold on, let me pull up Darren Waller. I can read it to you. Where is this report? Yeah, I'll have to find the details, but I believe it's because of the tag. You couldn't be traded because of the Devontae Adams tag. How about pick 32 and Lions third and a second next year? No, DK's not. You're not getting DK without giving up a first rounder, Ryan. It's not happening. It's not happening. DK Metcalf is worth more than a second rounder. And DK Metcalf is going to Green Bay. He's not going to Detroit. He's going to Green Bay or he's going to Kansas City. Kansas City or Green Bay, I believe, before the end of round 1, we'll have DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, Debo, or McLaurin. One of KC or Green Bay will have one of those 4 guys. I'm not saying all 4 will be traded. I'm not saying even 2 of the 4 will be traded. But I believe one of DK, McLaurin, AJ Brown, and DK, AJ Brown, McLaurin, and Debo. One of those 4 will be traded, and I believe one of those 4 will be in Green Bay or Kansas City. Walker going to Houston in the second round could happen. I believe the 2 most likely landing spots are the Buffalo Bills, and that would be Breece Hall, and then Walker to Houston. I think Walker to Cincinnati at 31 or whatever pick they have. I think it's 31 would be phenomenal. I don't care what people think about that. That's my football mind at work, not my year 2022 fantasy mind at work. I think long-term Walker in Cincinnati would be absolute chaos. And when I say chaos, I mean unbelievable fantasy football production. So I hope something like that could happen, but I don't think it will. The Cardinals could take Breece Hall at 23, which would mean that the Buffalo Bills would then be like, okay, do we go cornerback or do we take Kenneth Walker at 25? So the Cardinals, I think, are the only team that can really, well, not only team, but the most likely team to initiate 2 running backs being taken in round 1. If the Cardinals come in and step on the Buffalo Bills and take Breece Hall at 23, then I think, and you can see right here, 25 would be the Buffalo Bills. So 23, the Cardinals take Breece Hall right here, and then the Buffalo Bills would take Kenneth Walker. Past that, I do believe only Kenneth Walker, only Breece Hall will go at 25, and then Kenneth Walker will fall into round 2. I forgot I even had that on the screen when I was trying to figure out the Bengals pick. 31 right there. Waller not going anywhere, John. It's right on screen. Right on screen, John. I think the Bills should trade Zach Johnson for Green, honestly, says Ryan. Willis does remind me of Vic, though. Cannon of an arm, says Jeff. I don't know if I compare him to Vic, bro. Like, Vic was on a level we'll probably never see again. Vic was unbelievable. Ryan's got to take 2 laps according to Curve. Can't wait to see who's the Tony or ETN picks that make no sense this year. Look, Kadarius Tony is probably not getting traded. I suppose he could, but dude's a head case, man. I said it all off season or all last season, and people were like, "What do you base that on?" Like, look at, he's not even showing up. They can't even give him a playbook. Like, what has Kadarius Tony done to warrant this kind of bold behavior? And when I say bold, I mean stupid. Like, you're not showing up. You have no interest in getting an edge or getting ahead when you're trying to grab a hold of a starting wide receiver spot, cement yourself in, become a potential elite talent. Many people see elite skill set in Kadarius Tony. They think, man, this kid could be that out of nowhere special kid. Just a tremendous talent physically. And he has a horrible year last year in terms of like taking advantage of the opportunity. He had a monster game, one monster game. Let me pull up Kadarius Tony's game log. I forget what it was. It was 119 yards or 140 yards or whatever the heck it was. Let's pull it up. Kadarius Tony's game log. Let's look at this mess of a situation. This guy's got so much talent, and it's just wasting away. And I don't think anybody's going to trade for him because he's a head case and a problem child. So this guy comes in 189. Comes in week 5. Drops 13, catches 13 targets for 10 receptions, 189 yards, and Dynasty worlds everywhere are like, this is it. The game before, dude had 6 catches for 78 yards. And then off of the 6 catches for 78 yards, has the 10 catches for 189. Here it is. Boom, here it is. Is Tony in camp now? Let's see. Kadarius Tony is attending Giants voluntary workouts. Several reports confirmed Tony had been present for off-season workouts after he didn't show up last week, and reports emerged that the Giants were ready and willing to part ways with the second-year wideout. ESPN's Jordan report Monday. Significant return in exchange for Tony. We'll see. Tony is most likely going to remain a Giant 2022. So it says Kadarius Tony is attending Giants voluntary workouts. I want confirmation he's actually there. But even so, it doesn't change anything. He's still a head case. So 10 catches for 189 yards, and then he doesn't really do much the rest of the year. But guy, I believe it was week 6 or 7, I forget which one, where the dude literally headbutted one of his own staff members, started getting in a fist fight at the end of the game. Very reckless guy. We'll see. Nobody's going to trade for him, though. He's got upside. Look, I like him. Like if you said, hey, Smitty, who's a guy that has talent to be a wide receiver 1 that isn't a wide receiver 1? Like, of course, Tony's going to come to mind, like, skill set wise, but I think he's one of those guys that'll never come to fruition. You know what I mean? Like Odell, in a way. Odell for different reasons. Odell's not a head case. Odell's a pretty well-mannered teammate. And Odell's a good player to have around, but he can't stay healthy, and it never comes to fruition. So even though it's a little different circumstance, Odell feels like that. Like it's never going to work out. What's that guy's name? Love, the running back. Love, is it Love? That guy can never stay healthy. Walker going to Houston. Yep, got taken care of that comment here. What's up, Kevin? Appreciate you. Who do you want your Cardinals to take? First pick, 23 overall right here. I want the Cardinals to take Breece Hall. Do I really want it, like, fantasy-wise? I don't know. Probably rather have him in Buffalo. I feel like the Cardinals would figure out a way to screw it up. So, ultimately, I guess if you could tell me that Breece Hall could go to the Cardinals and that would make Buffalo take Kenneth Walker, if the Cardinals could force Buffalo to grab Walker, I would say yes, do that. Because I would want Walker in Buffalo more than I want Breece Hall in Arizona. But, yeah, tough to say. Tough to say. I love Tony, but I think the Giants hold him back. He only had 2 games with 50% snap count all season, says Jeff. He only had 1 good game, too. John says, hey, bro, why does Debo and A.J. Brown want to be traded? I looked everywhere. Why do they want to be traded? They want to be traded because they want contracts, bro. They were on the phone together talking about it, and Debo, it was on Debo's mother's live stream. And I don't know if A.J. Brown knew he was on the live stream, but A.J. Brown and Debo had A.J. Brown on speakerphone, and A.J. Brown, or Debo couldn't be seen. His mother was doing something on a live stream, and so the camera was angled at his mother. Debo was on the side on speaker with A.J. Brown, and A.J. Brown said, I was offered $20 million a year, insinuating that it was a garbage offer, that, he walked away from the table. A.J. Brown's frustrated and wants a ton of money, and he deserves it. And $20 million is insulting. And so A.J. Brown got offered $20 million a year, and on speakerphone he said that, and Debo said, I wasn't even offered anything. And all these reports are that the Niners are ready to offer Debo a deal. They're not. So they want trades because they're trying to facilitate either a trade to get paid or facilitate a unrest feeling within the organization to get paid. So it's all about getting paid. It's not about really wanting to play for a different team, John. They want to play for a different team if their current teams don't want to pay them. Like, trade me so I can get paid, or don't trade me but pay me. So that's what it's about, John. It's about money. It's not about a team. So if A.J. Brown gets the bag, I think he will. Look, Tennessee, think about it. Just like I said, Debo, calm down on the Debo getting traded stuff when everybody's like, oh my God, the club video where he's going like this, where that sign said Debo's going to stay, and then Debo goes like that, and everybody's trying to draw these conclusions. He requested a trade. I've been telling everybody, pump the brakes for the last week. Pump the brakes. It's fixable. Is Debo likely to get traded? I wouldn't even say likely. I'd say 50-50, if the right offer comes along. But a team's got to want to give up not only draft capital that's of the tune of 2 first-rounders, but then pay him $70 to $80 million guaranteed, and they won't do a trade unless they know for a fact Debo would accept $70 to $80 million. Like, they'd have to know, okay, the offer we give him, he's going to accept, because why make the trade and spend the draft capital when a guy's going to hold out? Like, so it makes it complicated, and teams are probably gun shy because they are afraid they trade for him and then he's not going to sign or whatever. It's 2 things that a team like the Jets would have to endure. Draft capital on top of the fact that they've got to pay him. So do I think ultimately A.J. Brown gets traded? No, because think about it. The Titans were the number 1 seed last year in their conference and, of course, in their division. And this number 1 seed, whether we like it or not, they believe they can do it again, right? Why are they going to give up one of the best wide receivers in the league and literally take away their ability to have any sort of chance at repeating last year and then taking it further in their mind? Like, can we win it all? They think they can, right? Why would they trade A.J. Brown? Why would they trade A.J. Brown? They're not going to trade A.J. Brown. They're going to make A.J. Brown happy. This is smoke season. They also want to sign all their draft picks and maybe get to the contract after that happens. But I think because we've seen Tyreek Hill and Adams get traded, nothing's out of the realm of possibility. Tennessee might have something on their hands where they can't fix it. I don't know. I highly doubt it, though. But Deebo Samuel's the same thing. Appreciate you, John. Hopkins already got paid, says Tim. What do I think the Niners take? Who do I think they take at the 61? I think, if there's a good edge rusher there, offensive line wouldn't be crazy at all. Cornerback, but they probably won't take a cornerback. They never take a cornerback, but edge or O-line. They need some O-line help. So it depends on the talent that's sitting there. Any chance Williams falls to the Patriots? I hope not. I mean this with all respect, Tim, but I do not want Jameson Williams in a Patriots uniform. Look, you guys destroy wide receivers. You're not going to use them at all to their potential. This is where N'Keal Harry went to die, and I don't want to hear N'Keal Harry didn't have talent. He went there and died. You let N'Keal Harry pass away on your roster. You did nothing with him. I know he kept getting hurt, but you did nothing with him. You let him sit there, and he probably got hurt because he never played, and then he went out and played 100% go trying to earn a job and earn more reps, and literally got hurt because he was going 1,000 miles per hour trying to make the most of one darn opportunity. You guys ruined N'Keal Harry. Absolutely ruined him. I don't want to hear he's garbage. You guys made him. The Patriots made him garbage. I don't want Jameson Williams going there and you using him 60% to his potential. Please no. Please no. The 21 pick, I hope to God he doesn't follow the 21 pick. I don't want him going to Philly either. I want him going to, looking at the top 10, God, if he does fall to 21, he could fall to 21. I don't want him falling to the Eagles. They got 2 picks right there. Saints better not take him. They could. I could see him in a Saints uniform. I could see it right now. They're worried about Mike Thomas. They got Winston throwing the football. I don't hate Winston, but that's not the guy. Jameson Williams in New Orleans makes a lot of sense in my mind just visualizing it. Oh, my God. Baltimore, I hope not. I'm sorry if I'm offending a lot of your guys' teams, but Baltimore and New England aren't making a consistent top 5 to 10 fantasy wide receiver. It's just not happening. Don't draft him, please. The Jets could take him at 10. I don't think he's going higher than that. The Atlanta Falcons at 8, I suppose, could roll that way. The Jets have 2 picks, the 4 and the 10. When you've got the 4 and the 10, it makes you a little more risky and ballsy to pull off something like that, where you're like, okay, I don't want to take a wide receiver because we have other holes, but bro, when you have 2 picks right there, you can dance a little with your desires. You can say, hey, I'm taking a wide receiver, darn it. Or if you're the Eagles and you got those 2 picks where the Eagles picks right here. The Eagles have the 18 and the 15. They did have 3 picks. You have the 18 and 15. You might say to yourself, let's take a running back. Running backs go in the second round, right? Well, not when you got 2 picks in the first round, baby. And then they go with Breece Hall. Look, Breece Hall wouldn't be the end of the world in Philly. I think they would lean on him. And you give, let's just paint this picture as best as we can. Breece Hall goes to Philly. It's initially we're like, shit, this is another team like the Patriots where it feels like, okay, you don't want the player going there. But if Hurts gets a running back like that, that makes him better. Devontae Smith better. I think it would be a good spot in the end, but Green Bay, Jameson Williams, possible. Dallas, Jameson Williams, possible. I don't know if I love that. It's not bad. Buffalo, I would love that because I think Diggs has 2 or 3 years left before he starts going down a little. And even if he starts going down, or even if he doesn't, Jameson Williams will climb to Diggs' level by 2.5 years. And they can both play at an elite level that 3rd or 4th year or whatever. I'm not worried about that. Jameson Williams in Buffalo would be pretty darn good. Top spots, Buffalo. Green Bay's got 2 first-rounders. They got 22 and 28. So Green Bay, second. Buffalo is my first spot. Oh, Chargers, 17. Chargers. What am I saying? Chargers, number 1 spot for Jameson Williams. I said it yesterday. Chargers, number 1 spot. Next spot would be Buffalo, then Green Bay, then Kansas City. The reason I hold off on Kansas City, I just feel like, I mean, maybe they are the second best spot. Maybe it's Chargers, Kansas City, Buffalo, Green Bay. I just worry a little. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I worry a little bit about KC. Always seems like the best place. Always seems like the best place, and somehow it's not. You know, and I know we don't have a lot to go on, but like Clyde going there seemed great. Even if Breece Hall were to go there or something, it would seem great, but you'd be worried about it. You like, what are they gonna? Is Reed really gonna use him the way we would? You know, or is he gonna be eased in? And the KC offense is so complicated that it's hard to pick it up right away, and then that creates complications, and then that creates, you know, if somebody gets hurt on top of that, then they don't pick up the offense well. That's why Clyde took so long, and that's why I don't worry about Rojo. That's why I kind of like Clyde this year, because he's going like at round 6, 7, 8. Like, there's no risk. There's no risk. As much as you hate Clyde, as much as Clyde burned you, there's no risk drafting Clyde in round 7 or 8. And Rojo doesn't worry me because Rojo can't possibly pick up the offense fast enough, because it took Clyde this long. It took Damian Williams a full year to even be comfortable in the offense. Damian Williams talked about it before that year. He did really well in the Super Bowl, but didn't like do great during the year, but he did well in the playoffs. He said even in the playoffs, even in the Super Bowl, like in that time frame where he did really well, Damian Williams said they had to tell me where to go. I still didn't know the playbook. Like, it was so complicated. They'd be like, okay, blue 65, hatchback 7, 44, 12, 11. Damian Williams run a 5-yard hook. Like, they had to tell him what to do after they call the play. That's how complicated it is in KC. It's really complicated. But I'm sorry if I offended you on that. Let's see if I can find Tim. Any chance Williams falls to the Patriots? Let me look for Tim's reply. Tim is probably not happy about that. That was Tim's next response. Ah, come on. There we go. Sorry, Tim. I didn't mean to offend you. I think we both can admit that the Patriots are probably a team very capable of not getting the most out of a wide receiver. Could it change? Yeah, but is Mac Jones is he a winner? Can he win in a Belichick offense? Yeah. Can the defense support him and you guys win games and be playoff contending teams? Yeah. Each year you could. But are you going to get the most out of it? Probably not. Smitty, who do you compare Trey Lance to? Mahomes meets Cam Newton. And I say that because I don't want to put him in Mahomes' category yet, but you've got to compare him to somebody like Mahomes because he has that potential elusiveness and cannon of an arm and raw talent. And, you know, that might seem crazy to someone now, but when I said Mahomes would be Mahomes and I compared him to guys, I was called crazy for calling Mahomes, you know, the next Aaron Rodgers or the next whatever. People thought that was crazy. So I don't really care if people say, oh, you can't do that. He hasn't played a game. He hasn't started a season yet. I don't care what anybody says. I can and I will. And I did. And I did. I did it. I said it. So at me. Mahomes meets Cam Newton. And he's got the weapons. If Debo returns, and I do believe it's 80% chance in my mind Debo returns. Signs a deal. Maybe he's unhappy for a little while. There could be a lot of unrest until that deal gets done. But I think once Debo's retained, or if he's traded, the draft capital is going to be through the roof. It'll be a lot of talent. Once Debo's retained, people are going to get real excited about Trey Lance again. Like right now, you can steal him away in best ball. People don't know whether they should even take him. They're worried about Jimmy G. Jimmy G can't throw till, June? Don't worry about Jimmy G. How do you like Trevor on the Jags team, Smitty? Can or will he overcome that disaster of a franchise? I don't feel like they did a real great job or a real bad job building this offseason. They've just overspent. They've acquired talent. I like Christian Kirk, but he's not a wide receiver 1. He's probably a potential elite wide receiver 2, but they're paying him wide receiver 1 money. He's getting Christian Kirk money. ETN's phenomenal. He could be the number 1 wide receiver on the team, to be honest. I hate that Doug Peterson runs running back by committee, so that scares me with ETN a little bit. However, ETN's falling into the the 4th and 5th round in redraft leagues. That's baked in, baby. That's what you call completely baked in value. Baked in, boys. I love that. Give me that ETN baked in value all day. All day. Do I think Trevor Lawrence could be elite? I do. Do I think it'll happen right away? No. Do I think he'll show flashes of it? Yeah. Do I think he could have the kind of season Burrow had as a rookie? I think Trevor Lawrence could have this year, where you're like, the team does badly. Like, remember Burrow's rookie year? He played about 10 games and he tore his ACL. And even when the Jaguars were awful, even when Burrow didn't have an amazing game, we walked out. I don't know if you remember. Try and reflect back on this. We would leave, that week. So, like, let's say it was week 5 or whatever it was. It'd be like, God, Burrow threw 2 picks. Bengals looked like shit. But, man, you can tell Burrow's that guy. Like, I don't care if he played bad. Burrow is that guy. And I feel like Trevor Lawrence is going to have that kind of second year where it was like Trevor Lawrence team's going to look like crap. Trevor Lawrence is going to potentially be hit and miss and look like crap, but also look like a good quarterback in the same game. And we're going to walk out going, I'm smart enough to know that Trevor Lawrence is going to be good. It's going to be year 3 for him instead of year 2 like it was year 2 for Burrow. Trey Lance, I don't feel. Someone might say, well, don't you feel the same way about Trey Lance? No. Trey Lance looked pretty good as a rookie. I think he looked mediocre in like the first half of games, and he looked very good in the second half. I think he also got a lot of mental reps, went through an entire playoff and NFC championship game. Trey Lance had a lot to absorb mentally, and he did really well physically when on the field. I feel like he had a rookie year. I hate when people say Trey Lance is a rookie right now, entering this year. It's practically like he's a rookie. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care that he got less games than Burrow. I still feel like he had a rookie year. Even if it was a little bit shorter, it was just different. It was full of a lot of mental absorption. And I believe Trey Lance will walk into his sophomore year on the same page as Burrow and Herbert did their sophomore years. Or not so much Herbert, because Herbert was a little further along than both of them. But Burrow had 10 games and tore his ACL. A lot of people are going to reflect on Burrow's 2021 campaign. Like, first of all, I'm the one that told you that was going to happen, so I don't need to hear, oh, you can't do that. I can do whatever I want. I said the Bengals will win the division. I said that drafting Jamar Chase was the only answer, and I said that the Bengals would be that team and Burrow would be that guy. So I can say it. Burrow walked into his sophomore year this past season, the Super Bowl year run, making their Super Bowl appearance. Burrow walked into that year with a very good but very shaky rookie year and a torn ACL. He walked in with the mental hurdle of the ACL tear. Very hard to come back from that and have a great year. He also walked into a very play-wise, very shaky entrance because he didn't finish. He finished the whole year like this because he had a struggling team. So Trey Lance coming out of this past season, just because he played a little less, obviously, doesn't put him at a huge disadvantage. He's walking in healthy. So maybe he's walking into his sophomore year with a little less reps and experience than Burrow had, but he's walking in healthy. Burrow wasn't. He was rehabbing still. He was still trying to get healthy. On top of that, Trey Lance is walking into a better situation, especially if Debo's there. If Debo's not there, we'll reassess. But with Debo, Kittle, Ayuk, Eli Mitchell, and a top 5 potential defense, top 7 potential defense. This guy, Trey Lance, is walking into a much better situation, fully healthy, and little less reps than Burrow. Overall better situation. Overall better setup for 2022 than Burrow was in week 1 setup for 2021. And I can say that because I said it, I called it, I talked about it. I said Bengals win the division. Even I felt that way when I knew Burrow was walking into a shaky beginning in week 1 and week 2. I knew it was going to take a little time for Burrow. And he got going and firing on all cylinders. No quarterback, assuming Debo stays, and I do believe there's like an 80% chance he stays. I think the smoke, everybody's overblowing everything. 80% chance he stays. And if he doesn't, they get a ton for him, and they'll be fine too. They'll have a better defense, which will help the offense. It'll all trickle and cascade down. They'll get an Olave somehow. They'll trade up and get Watson. They'll have Watson and Stingley, or an amazing pick at that 10 pick or 4 pick if they do trade. Imagine getting the 4 pick and they get Sauce Gardner. You get Sauce Gardner in a second rounder, turn that second rounder with the 61 the Niners already have, move back into the first, draft of Christian Watson. Christian Watson and Stingley is just as good as Debo. So I don't want to hear if they trade Debo, Trey's in trouble. They trade Debo, they're getting a ton, and they're getting a ton to put into the offense and defense. I love Trey Lance's situation more than any sophomore quarterback the situation that I could ever think of. I like it better than Burrow's situation entering week 1. Let me see. I got something I got to check here. Okay, sorry. Yeah, because TB12, okay, you guys are having a conversation here. I don't want to interrupt. Robert Tonyan is expected to be involved in the Darren Waller trade. There is no Darren Waller trade, Taylor. It's off. Right on screen here. Robert Tonyan and a first to Las Vegas for Darren Waller. It's already off. Stop making that face. It's already off. The trade is not going to happen. It's 0% chance. That's what the whole live stream's about. Rewatch the beginning, Taylor. Appreciate you, but...
Take a look.
Welcome to the show, by the way. Appreciate you being here. Don't run off because you took a lap. It's all healthy. Proving my point, this is a response to somebody else, but I'm going to read it anyway. John Butler, proving my point even more. Jimmy trained under Brady and in 8 seasons in the league and still does not know how to read defenses. Yeah. If anybody's, I don't know if you're trying to argue, someone's trying to argue that Jimmy G's going to start week 1. Enough. Don't make me hit the take a lap button again. Okay, because I'll do it. Jimmy's not throwing until June or July. Don't worry about Jimmy G. Okay? Jimmy G ain't taking nothing. Trey's got all offseason until like June something to relinquish any reps to Jimmy G. Jimmy G, not only that, Jimmy G may have setbacks. Here, I feel I've mapped out and painted the picture for the Niners offseason to a T. Like, you can ask the guys in the quad box. So, like, Smitty has called it every step of the way. And the problem is Jimmy G played on a injured shoulder that required surgery. The likelihood of him having a setback is extremely high. Similar to when you need your brake pads replaced and you drive for another 6 months on them, you're probably going to ruin your rotors. And even if you get new brake pads, hence Jimmy getting the surgery, you still might have problems with the vehicle moving forward if you don't replace the rotors. So this guy literally played on a thumb that needed surgery and a shoulder that needed surgery. And he kept playing, and he kept playing, and he kept playing. If anybody thinks he's walking in 100%, you're out of your mind. Like, Jimmy G's going to get hurt. Even if Jimmy G got the start, let's say, he's getting hurt. He can't stay healthy even when he is healthy. So, being injured, he's not staying healthy. It's Trey Lance season. It's Trey Lance time. If Trey Lance doesn't start week 1, I will be doing a live stream or video every single day until Shanahan's fired. I will do a Shanahan's not fired yet. This is video number 1. Shanahan isn't fired yet. Here's video number 2. Shanahan isn't fired. If he does not start Trey Lance, that will be crazy. Tony's still going at this Darren Waller thing. Darren Waller is going to be a Packer. Is going to the Packers for Robert Tonyan.
Take a look.
It's already off. The deal is over. Taylor says, now, Robert Tonyan is going to be a Raider.
Take a look.
Have we had enough? Have we had enough? Are you tired yet? Are you tired yet? Hey, Smitty, how do I become a moderator, bro? Ryan, I might add you as a moderator. Why are you saying that? Are you wanting to mute somebody? Because that's not the job of the moderator. The moderator isn't supposed to just shut down anybody. Is that why you're saying it? Is somebody making you mad? Because I don't want to give you the powers and you just don't like someone's comment, so you're going to mute them. I don't want that. It's only to stop, like, hateful stuff or people trying to derail the whole show, like, just hates the show or anything, like really bad, anybody doing hate speech, stuff like that. We need to take all that out. That's what the mods are for. So I just want to clarify before I even consider giving you that. Yeah, Taylor's getting in good shape today. Taking some major laps. I don't like Jimmy G at all. No one does. Taylor, stop. Las Vegas would be idiots to trade Waller. Yeah, I explained that at the top of the show. There's zero rationale to trading Waller. Why would you trade Waller? You've got Adams in a 2 to 3 year window. You got Derek Carr completely married to that Adams 2 to 3 window, and you got Darren Waller fitting perfectly in that 2 to 3 year window. It would be the dumbest trade any team's done this offseason. Probably even more than the Adams and Hill trades because they got a lot, of value. But what's up, Derek? Derek in the house. What's up, Bob? Appreciate you subscribing, pal. Bob, we talk about your name quite a bit on the show. Don't take offense, but Bob from accounting is who always says, "Hey, Smitty, this is Bob from accounting, and I have questions." So, we're not talking about you specifically, unless you want it to be you. But welcome to the show, Bob. Appreciate you, Bob. I don't like Jimmy G, Mr. Smitty. I love Jimmy G, says Wesley. Wesley, this one's for you.
Get lambed.
Poor guy. Wesley. Waller can be top 2 tight end. That would be crazy. In Green Bay, yeah. In a Raiders situation, like 4 to 5. I probably like Kyle Pitts as much as Waller, if not more. Even though his situation isn't great either, but at least he's like the lone pass catcher. Whereas Waller, kind of different. Like, at least Carr's capable, but it's crowded. And then in Pitts' situation, there's no capable quarterback, but it's not crowded. So it's kind of like the same thing. What's up, Terry? Glad you're here, pal. Bob from accounting. Bob. Send you on a healthy lap? Okay, go take a lap.
Take a lap. Take a lap. Take a lap. Take a lap.
Put you on a healthy lap. That's a healthy lap. Brandon Ayuk will have a breakout season. Remember my name. Noah, that's really obvious stuff. Like no one's gonna credit you for that.
Take a lap. Take a lap. Take a lap. Take a lap.
Attention, Jameson Williams and Jonathan Taylor are going to be good in 2022. Remember my name.
Although the where I put Javonte, definitely remember my name, because no one's putting him at 2 but your boy Smitty. But that, I guess that'd be more like saying, every once in a while someone comes in and goes,
Justin Jefferson could be the wide receiver 1.
remember my name? Remember my name? Oh, here goes Taylor again. How many NFC Championship appearances does Trey Lance have? That's what I thought. Well, he just started. So, he just started. You got me. Someone said the same thing to me about Mahomes. They got me too. Until they didn't. I appreciate you though, Taylor. I'm not trying to go at you. You're bringing a lot of funny stuff though, and you got the funny avatar as well. So it's kind of just it's making me feel like you're trolling. You're trolling today, but toss some more out. We're not dissatisfied by your commentary today. It's quite entertaining. Man, I'm leaning George Kittle has 0 value when trying to trade him. It's tough out here. Yeah, because Kittle can vanish not because he's hurt. Like, the problem with Kittle is that Kittle can vanish because he can get hurt, and Kittle can vanish because they can ask him to just block. So you have like the double whammy. He's never going to be the best tight end in fantasy probably ever again because he does so much blocking. So I'm not feeling like Kittle's any more valuable, probably lesser valuable than like Waller and Pitts. You know, Smitty is getting us in shape. That's right. That's my goal, my objective. How many AFC championships have the Green Bay Packers lost, says John? Raiders have the best wide receiver tight end duo in Devontae Adams and Waller. Now, I don't know. I would say I could get behind that. Yeah. So why we wanting to trade Waller now, Taylor? I'm just trying to figure it out. What's up, media? Media in the hizzy. What is Green Bay? Everybody's got it. I'm gonna lay off the Green Bay and Raider stuff. Let's move on. I remember when all of my friends in the fantasy league I was in said Kittle was trash just because he did bad in fantasy. Yeah, he's one of the best, if not the best, tight end in the league because of how much he can block. But from a fantasy perspective, he's tough, man, because he'll vanish for like 5-6 games. And because of the offensive line, and Raj made this point, I said, well, hey, maybe with Trey he's going to get unlocked more. But Raj just made a good point that, like, with the offensive line in such trouble, maybe Trey isn't used. Or, I'm sorry, maybe Kittle isn't used more than we think. He'll be used at times, but I don't know. I'd stay away from Kittle at anywhere near, like, 3rd round. Like, in the 4th round, 5th round, I'd definitely be interested in a media. I don't know if you can be objective here and give us your take on Kittle, but with the offensive line being, you know, potentially in question, and now center, like, it's just, there's a lot of questions. Like, Kittle might be asked to block more than ever. So I'm not even a Packers fan. I'm a Ravens fan. So what are you doing? Talk Ravens. You're like advocating for this Waller trade like no other I've ever seen. It's already off. It's off. What's going to happen to James Robinson, Smitty? I mean, torn Achilles tendon. Never, I say this phrase all the time, never has a running back ever torn his Achilles tendon and ever returned or become a top 10 running back. Never. It's never happened. Maybe Akers can change that, but I doubt it, because I already doubted him. I already tagged Akers as a very injury-prone bust player before he tore his Achilles tendon. A big stay away from me. My number 2 avoid running back from last year, Akers. I have no interest in Akers. And so, you know, Robinson, you know, no shot at just taking ETN's job. coming off a torn Achilles, let alone will he ever be effective again. It's just not likely. Tim says, hey Taylor, Lamar to Detroit. Breeze to the Raiders. Okay, Taylor. I think we're done. I think we're done pulling your comments on the screen with the Breeze. I don't know what you're trying to do. You're trying to dismantle the Raiders is all I can figure. Trey won't be checking down, look him to pass to his wide receiver Kittle or keep the rock and put the team on his back. I think Bob, he's going to be a lot more well-rounded than people think. I think Trey Lance is going to be able to throw deep. He can make all the throws from all over the field, from any platform, and he can tuck and run. But he's not a gadget quarterback. He's not a Cam Newton. He literally will be the best scrambling passer in the league, meaning he will scramble outside of the pocket, kind of like Kyler does, with more of a threat to throw downfield. Like Kyler's a scrambling quarterback that's going to throw middle of the field type passes or middle range passes on the run. Trey can throw from any platform, but he can hit any throw in the pocket and hit any throw while on the run. Meaning he could be running and rolling outside of the pocket on the run, approaching the sideline, and throw a throw that most quarterbacks can't throw in the pocket. And I think it's going to become evident really quickly, and it's going to be so exciting to watch all the haters just kind of quiet down and dissolve, because Trey's got so much appeal and talent. I just can't wait. I can't wait to watch everybody shut up and crumble. All these Trey haters that think he's garbage. I don't know what it is that makes people want to doubt him. I understand being upset at Shanahan, in predicting a downfall from that. And that makes sense because Shanahan can ruin him. There's that threat certainly there. But Derek, no problem disagreeing with me, Derek. It's fine. It's you always do it respectful. So no shade, Smitty, but Trey looks like a bust to me and looks no better than Justin Fields. Just what I see, brother. Sorry, no problem, man. We can always disagree. Look, I don't hit everything, man. I liked Kenyon Drake, and he didn't materialize, and there are people that said I don't like Kenyon Drake, and they ended up being right. I don't hit everything. I hit a lot. I wouldn't be here if I didn't hit a lot. If I didn't hit more than I missed, obviously, but this could be one of them, man. This could be one of them. Don't trust your gut. Don't stray away from your gut instinct, but everything I see, the only downfall, the only risk factor at all is Trey Lance is Kyle Shanahan. But I think because Jimmy G can't even throw till June, I'm not real worried about Jimmy G. Not to mention Jimmy G is in the doghouse of doghouses with Shanahan. When you get in Shanahan's doghouse, it's hard to crawl out. And this man didn't return phone calls. They were trying to get a hold of him, and he wouldn't pick up the phone. And Shanahan was pissed, man. You could see it. He's like, we tried to get a hold of him. He's hard to get a hold of. And he didn't let him know he needed surgery. It was awful. It was awful. Debo would be lethal in New England. I don't like him in New England. I don't like anybody in New England, man. That's why you draft. That's why you paid two big tight ends and huge money last year. Just the way you use talent in New England is just Belichick's weird. Without Brady, I don't know what he's going to do offensively. He's great defensively, and he's the kind of coach that can win throwing the ball twice. But I don't want a quarterback or a wide receiver in an offense where the coach actually designs to throw the ball once or twice to win a game, total. I know the weather was bad, but I'm just saying that's Bill. Bill worries enough about Mac, and I know Mac was still learning, so that's part of it. But Debo's not going to thrive. He'll be good for you football-wise. If you're a Patriots fan, Debo would be good for you football-wise. But Debo won't be won't be the same player fantasy-wise. He will not be even close to the same player in New England. Not to mention, it's not happening. 80% chance he stays. You know, I've been beating that drum. I know not everybody agrees with me. Media agrees. Media just said Debo isn't going anywhere. But Smitty, you do always make great calls. Thank you, Derek. Appreciate it. Well, if you feel that way, maybe keep a little bit of an open mind for Trey. Maybe scoop him up in one league just so you don't have to watch the whole thing without being involved at all. Like just do a best ball or do a league where you don't care too much about it. It's like a $20 league entry fee. Just grab Trey in one of them, you know, and you can get him late enough right now with all the doubt circling around this Niner situation, Debo, Jimmy G. You could get him as your backup. Like just grab him in one league. You want him in one league. You don't want to miss this train, man. Where do you have Ayuk going in Dynasty? He's been working with Trey, and I believe that he will have a breakout season. I think you want to draft him carefully. Like you want to draft Ayuk in the late wide receiver 2, high-end wide receiver 3 territory. Do I know where that is exactly? Probably like 6-7 round range. I think you start taking Ayuk in like 4. You're taking him way too high. Could I see him in 5, 6, 7? Yeah, I could. I would say 6, 7 safest. Take Ayuk in 6 or 7. Taking him as your 6th player, 7th player is not risky. It's all upside. And then you get the benefits if this man does drop low-end wide receiver 1 numbers. Boom. In the money. And Ayuk could, you know, especially if Debo gets traded, which again I think is very unlikely. Guess who becomes a 4th rounder immediately, you know, or top of the 5th? Brandon Ayuk. So in best ball, take advantage. Where can you draft in best ball right now? Where, you ask? Why don't you go over to Underdog, go to smitty1.com, click on this Underdog Fantasy banner that I have sitting there right on my site, or click on the Underdog Fantasy link. It'll send you right over by attaching promo code Smitty. If you go to Underdog Fantasy without clicking the link on smitty1.com, just enter promo code Smitty. I'll give you a free 10-minute phone call where we can discuss whatever you want. And go over your team, trades, whatever. I'll give you a 10 to 15 minute phone call. I'm generous. And also I'll give you free access to my entire sleeperu.com video library, which I'm working on a bunch of videos this weekend, and I'll get them up. I promise. This NFL draft's taking a lot of my time, but I will have so much content up in video course format. That's going to be all free to anybody that deposits a minimum of $10 into a new Underdog Fantasy account by going to smitty1.com and clicking on this exact Underdog Fantasy banner, or going to Underdog Fantasy and entering promo code Smitty. Your boy Smitty's giving you free access to the video courses all year. Thousands of minutes of video course content that's exclusive, and the 10-minute phone call by just going to Underdog Fantasy and entering promo code Smitty. $10 minimum. That's it. Play best ball. And my whole point in saying that was draft Ayuk in round 6, 7 now in best ball. Draft Javonte at 6, 7, 8 overall instead of number 2 or 3. Draft Breece Hall at 3.1 over and over and over and over again until Breece Hall gets drafted and we have a landing spot. Let's say like Buffoon saying it's in Buffalo. Now Breece Hall's top 10 to 12 to 13 or 14 overall. Breece Hall is going at 3.1 to 3.8 in best ball. If you don't go over to Underdog Fantasy using promo code Smitty and play best ball, taking advantage of Ayuk in round 6 or 7, taking advantage of Breece Hall at 3.1, taking advantage of Javonte in the mid first to late first, taking advantage of Kenneth Walker in round 4. He could be a second rounder if he lands in the right spot. If you don't go take advantage of these things before best ball ADP changes, you will be very sad that you didn't hammer home these values before they go away. Smitty, what's your Saquon take? Is he a low running back 2, or does he reemerge in a contract year? I'm staying away from Saquon. Could he reemerge? Yeah. Could he put together a healthy season finally? Maybe. But at the cost of what? Are you taking him in round 2? I'm not. I don't care. I'm not taking him in round 2. There's too many valuable. I take Breece Hall. Breece Hall's available until 3.1 sometimes. I'm not even considering Saquon over Breece Hall. Breece Hall is like Najee Harris last year. I think Breece Hall in Buffalo will go at 10 overall to people like us. Okay? We're going to be drafting Breece Hall at 11, 12, 13 overall if he lands in Buffalo. And maybe people laugh at us like they laughed at us when we drafted Najee Harris at 10. We drafted Najee Harris at 10. We got laughed at. And yet we laughed all the way to the bank because the man exploded. Yeah, stay away from Barkley. Not that he can't do it, but why? Why go down the road? Why? What has he done to prove he's worthy of a third, even a top of the third round pick? CMC or Saquon? CMC by a mile, because the difference between CMC, Tim, and Saquon is Saquon's been hurt, hasn't done anything, and you have no evidence that he even still has the talent. At least Christian McCaffrey, when he's on the field, is the best running back in football. He still is. Like, the last time he was on the field starting, he was electric. Okay, so you have so much more to go on. They're both risky. I'm not taking either one in an extreme amount. Like, I'll take one in 1 or 2 leagues, maybe. I'm not taking Barkley at all. I'll take Christian McCaffrey at like 12 overall in like 1 league just in case he ends up staying healthy, because he still proves he can do it when he's on the field. But why on earth would you take Saquon? He's proven nothing and he's injury prone. CMC at least is a baller when on the field. Stormcat says Shanahan looks like he could bring down Lance, but remember that Shanahan traded up for him. He doesn't do everything possible. If he doesn't do everything possible to develop Lance, Shanahan is the one who will look foolish. Yeah, but Shanahan's got an ego, so there's still a threat. But yeah, I mean, the nice thing, and I've explained this before, Jimmy G can't throw until June. Trey's got the job. He's practicing with the ones. He's getting all the reps. The same reason Jimmy started was kind of the same reason Trey will start in a way, because Jimmy was taking all the reps. Trey got hurt. Trey almost got the nod for week 1, but he got hurt. Jimmy was taking all the reps. They started Jimmy. So he's got that advantage of being there, being present, being the commander of the ones. On top of that, Jimmy's in Shanahan's doghouse. Jimmy's in Shanahan's doghouse. It's so hard to get out of that. He is upset with Jimmy. I don't think he's getting out of the doghouse. He didn't return his calls during the offseason. Avoided both Kyle and John because he didn't want to let him know he's having surgery late, and waited until the final hour, waited till the combine, and then announced it the day of the combine to avoid any trade, which was messed up, and the team remembers it. Shanahan's upset about it. He's in Shanahan's doghouse. Number 3, Trey Lance is going to get Shanahan out of a lot of bad play calling, because Jimmy couldn't improvise and make a move to get out of a bad play call. Tuck and run. Bad play call is called. Trey recognizes it. Trey takes off. Trey's got 28 passing touchdowns in his 1 college season, 14 rushing touchdowns, 0 INTs. Do you know how hard, I don't care if it's lesser competition, do you know how hard it is to score 42 total touchdowns and have 0 INTs? The man threw 28 touchdowns, ran for 14, and had not 1 interception, because he understands when to tuck and run and makes very good decisions when doing so. Trey Lance will get Shanahan out of so much trouble that it's going to be a phenomenal situation for Shanahan because of that. The way that he'll get him out of trouble will be amazing, and it'll be a very good marriage that way. So I fully expect Trey to be phenomenal. Any hope that Rashad Bateman this year? I mean, a little hope, sure, but like, am I expecting anything? No. I mean, would I cut him? No, but do I care about him? Not really. Yeah, Ayuk was in the doghouse for a while. I just hope Kyle keeps the play simple. I see, King, I understand where you're coming from, and I'm not saying you're wrong to have that like thought process, but you don't need to keep it simple. Trey's smart. Trey absorbs a lot. Trey's a good kid. What's funny, King, and please don't take this the wrong way, but it's crazy to me that people think Burrow can grasp everything by his sophomore year. Burrow just played his sophomore year and led his team to a Super Bowl appearance, and people are saying things like this, King, and again, no offense to you, that I hope things are kept simple. Trey's going to need to learn to read defenses. Give this man the same respect that Burrow got. I know Burrow had more college playing time. I understand that. But Trey also had 28 passing touchdowns to 0 INTs, 14 rushing touchdowns to Jerry Rice and Walter Payton Award winner. He's not some bum that came off of the bench and played kind of well and just ended up tripping and falling into a starting job in the NFL. The dude had some accolades coming out of college, whether it was a small school or not. And Trey is in no different a situation than Joe Burrow was walking into Joe Burrow's second year last year. So Trey can handle a complex playbook, and Shanahan's system isn't simple. There's a lot of pulling. There's a lot of misdirection. The offensive line's moving. The bigger concern is the offensive line. Trey, I don't worry about Trey. I worry about the offensive line, the new pieces to the offensive line that have got to pull and move. Are we going to see offsides like every other play? I'm worried about that. I'm worried about Trey Lance throwing an 80-yard dart down the field, scoring a touchdown, and then and then there'd be a flag on the field because one of the linemen was offsides because they were nervous about all the misdirection they had to worry about. That's what worries me. I think Trey's going to be further along than the offensive line and all the trickery that's going on. Trey Sermon could have a better sophomore year. Let's just put it that way. I'm not going to call him a breakout or anything. I think Mitchell's the dude. And in my defense, because I get a lot of Trey Sermon, like, you moron, you called Trey Sermon a break. To be fair, like, I try not to pat myself on the back too much, but I called Eli Mitchell. I don't want to hear, oh, Smitty, all you talked about was Trey Sermon. Almost every single time I mentioned Trey Sermon, I said the cuff. The cuff. I said Trey Sermon, cuff to Mitchell, will win leagues in 2022. And all I hear is people saying I missed on Trey Sermon. I literally said almost every time it came out of my mouth, Trey Sermon, cuff to Mitchell, will win leagues. Mitchell is special. Mitchell cannot be overlooked. Mitchell is a league winner. And even coming out of week 1 when people didn't listen to me and draft and cuff Mitchell to Sermon, which was a league-winning formula that for some reason I don't get any kind of like, I get a bunch of negative stuff on that call because people just remember the first part of it. But even the people didn't listen to and cuff Mitchell. I came out in week 1, said the number 1 pickup of the year is Eli Mitchell. And the way your boy Smitty does that is different than everybody else. I don't come out and just tell you how many dollars to drop on it. I don't know what your league is going to require. If you have a $200 free agency blind bid, a dollar amount, I don't know if $75 is a lot to your league mates or not. I've got a league where you get $100 to spend on blind bidding, and if you want a player, you must spend $100. Everybody drops $100 every single week on the top guy. So it comes down to like order. So if everybody's dropping $100, who's got the best? Who at that point, who's ranked as the worst team at that point? It turns into like a snake draft at that point. That's the way it is. So I can't come out and say $75 or 80% of your budget to Eli Mitchell when I have no idea what your league's gonna do or how they react or what the highest bid is. So that's dumb when people give advice when they don't know. I don't know. So you know what I do? Your boy Smitty does a process that I believe is the most effective way to give you waiver wire advice. I give you a confidence level. I tell you on a confidence level of 10 being the highest, 0 being the lowest, what is the likelihood of this player being the best pickup of the year? And I said Eli Mitchell was I believe I said an 8 or 9 out of 10 of being the best pickup of the year. And he was the highest grade I gave anybody all season long. Eli Mitchell, pick him up. And the 8 or 9 out of 10 was my recommendation level. And I said, if you've got to spend your entire wad of cash, load drop on the man. Drop the entire wad and load on Eli Mitchell to ensure you make up for your mistake of not drafting him like your boy Smitty said. So when it comes time for waiver wire advice in 2022, remember how I'm going to deliver it. It's how much low droppage? No. It's confidence level. Confidence level. In that, I might tell you, is it worth the full amount of blind bid dollars? Because I do that all the time. I don't care. You'll see in a league that I'm in, if I don't know who I'm playing with and there's a blind bid amount, I have to guess because I don't know the population of people I'm playing with. I'll drop 100. I'll drop all 100, and the highest bid will be like 33. I'll be like, hello, everyone. My name's Smitty, and I am a free agent, low-dropping, blind bid addict. And I just dropped $100 on Mitchell. See you in the championship. Although I drafted Mitchell, so. All right, guys, I'll see you at 7 p.m. Eastern. Appreciate every single one of you in here. Subscribe if you're new. And again, where are you watching the NFL draft? Here on the Fantasy Football Show, found at youtube.com/The Fantasy Football Show or thefantasyfootballshow.com. And I will be live on Instagram and YouTube the entire day pretty much. So if you don't see me on YouTube, venture over to IG where you'll find me. My Instagram is The Fantasy Football Show. My YouTube is The Fantasy Football Show. So you can go to Instagram.com/The Fantasy Football Show or YouTube.com/The Fantasy Football Show. Come find me. I'll be live, but I'm also live every day at 7 p.m. Eastern, which means we will be back in about 4 hours from now doing the usual 7 p.m. Eastern show. Appreciate you. Bob, I'm glad you're here. Guys, drop a comment in the videos. I respond to every comment. See you at 7 p.m. Eastern. Deuce.